Okay, we are back live with Dr. Jerome Corsi. Now Obama has come out and signed the North American Union Security Perimeter. Dr. Corsi has written at length about this, and it's all part of the strategic corporate hijacking of the big mega corporations that are bigger than most governments who have disdain for the free market. And as John D. Rockefeller said, competition is a sin. Competition is a sin because he liked inside operations. Dr. Corsi, you've got the floor on this situation. We're still going into North American integration by stealth, and it looks like they've put the afterburners back on.
Well, they have. I mean, I wrote an article in WND. People aren't aware that Barack Obama met with Prime Minister Stephen Harper. They agreed on February 4th. They signed a Beyond the Border bilateral declaration. It created a North American continental perimeter. This was one of the chief goals of the Security and Prosperity Partnership in North America. And then I also wrote my Red Alert newsletter, and people now can get the Red Alert newsletter free. The article I'm headlining this week is that Obama has already decided, it was announced at his press conference last week with Mexico's President Felipe Calderon, to allow the Mexican trucks to come back into the United States, to roll freely throughout the United States. Congress took the money away from this. In fact, Obama signed the executive order, signed the law, the defunding. It was in the $410 billion omnibus funding bill that President Obama signed in March 2009. Congress took away the money from the Department of Transportation to do this Mexican truck demonstration project, but Obama is allowing the Mexican trucks to come back into the United States under his own authority without any attempt at all to come to Congress to get authorization or seek approval.
Wow. Please continue.
Well, and then I've really tried to detail how what's going on now is a closer merging together with Canada on this continental perimeter deal, and then building the infrastructure to integrate with Mexico. Now, another thing most people don't realize is that Janet Napolitano went down to Mexico on November 30th, the end of last year, and she signed an agreement on trusted travelers. The North American Trusted Traveler Program was put into place with Mexico. And what this does is it allows Mexicans to come and get a card. It looks like just an ATM card or a driver's license with your picture on it. It'll be a biometric card issued by the Department of Homeland Security. And Mexico is claiming something like 80 million Mexicans, which is about 8/10 of the country, is ultimately going to have these cards. Now, what you do with these cards is that when you come into a airport or port of entry, take a look at globalentry.gov, where you've got these terminals being put in place. They look like ATM machines. You take your Mexican Trusted Traveler North American card, you sweep it through the globalentry.gov terminal, you answer a few questions, and you walk in across the border. And Mexico has just demanded, they're putting into place a program where all children in the schools under age 19, which is probably going to be about 25 million children in Mexico, are going to be issued, they have to go get these biometric government-issued ID cards that have a picture, have a facial scan with full facial digital recognition, iris recognition built into the card, all 10 fingerprints. And this is the beginning of, once the Mexican children get these IDs from the Mexican government, then they become trusted travelers in North America. This is another key program of the Security and Prosperity Partnership in North America. I've been writing about it on WND in my Red Alert newsletter. Hardly anybody knows it's being put into place because Barack Obama has decided to go under the radar. He's taken down the website, spp.gov, but without announcing these big decisions in any major way. Through the authority of the White House alone, Barack Obama is letting the Mexican trucks come into the United States, declaring a North American security border with Canada, and beginning the Trusted Traveler of North American program with Mexico.
They just continue to move ahead with this takeover, and I have a news article here in my stack, and I've seen similar ones over the years, over and over again in the Associated Press, you name it. Canada, U.S. agreed to use each other's troops in civil emergencies. Canada and the U.S. have signed an agreement that paves the way for the militaries from either nation to send troops across each other's borders during an emergency, but some are questioning why the government has kept silent on the deal. But then you bring up NLE 09 and open drills to use foreign troops to, quote, fight American terrorists, and Mexican troops going to New Orleans and during Katrina. I've been to the urban warfare drills. The role players at drill after drill with Marines and Army with foreign troops is American gun owners and libertarians. So there is a giant program going on preparing for war with the American people. And we need to stop denying that the bureaucracy's out of control, that this is high treason, that Bush committed an act of treason, signing the SPP in secret in 2005 in Waco, as you know, Dr. Corsi.
Right, I said that directly at the time.
And there's ongoing continuity of agenda. There's really no difference. And I mean, how do we stop this? I mean now they're our troops are at their Olympics. Their troops are down here. I mean,
well, and look, Alex, we've signed the agreement under the Security and Prosperity Partnership with Mexico and Canada that if there is another breakout of influenza or avian flu or another health epidemic, the United States has agreed to go under UN authority and to work with a North American command to deal with the health emergency in the United States. We've already signed the agreement. And again, Bush signed the agreement as one of these agreements with Mexico and Canada that was never brought before Congress as a treaty. This is all being done under the radar. And when people like you or I'm saying, here's the government websites. Go to globalentry.gov. I list the 20 airports where these terminals are being put into place, the trusted traveler terminals, Boston Logan, Dallas, Houston, Honolulu, JFK in New York. These are the major airports all around the country. The terminals are there. globalentry.gov, government website shows that they're there. We point out government websites, and they still say we're the conspiracy theorists because the Obama administration, just like the Bush administration, does not want their globalist North American Union agenda exposed. And when we do expose it, Alex, they hit back by trying to do ad hominem attacks, calling us names, when the truth is that the real conspirators are the Bush administration, the Obama administration, Canada's government, Mexico's government. They're all working together to put in place the infrastructure of the North American Union without officially announcing it to the peoples of any of the three countries.
Now, how do we get the word out to people, though, that the same multinational corporations, Microsoft, Yahoo, Google, and others, Cisco, you name it, have openly helped China and India roll out their RFID national slave ID cards, that they're helping set that up here, that the hemispheric ID card out for 3 years is the North American real ID, that the TSA is the federal Gestapo, even congressmen now saying, yes, they're going to take over the streets of America. They are running checkpoints. They're having high-powered X-rays that they drive citizens under, where the TSA and TSA-trained police stand under. They're not even following OSHA rules on radiology. I mean, it's a brazen, full-out offensive against every form of liberty. And that's the one angle that they've got up on us, it seems, is that it's so crazy that even when it's in the news that they're training to bring in Mexican and Canadian troops to, quote, deal with American terrorists, that's Associated Press quote, that it's so crazy people can't even deal with it. I mean, it's almost like the reports of 500 years ago in 1492, when the islanders, the natives in the Americas would see sailing ships. They'd never seen anything like it, so some of them couldn't even see it. Even though it was right there, they couldn't see it because they had no psychological lexicon. Do you see what I'm saying, Dr. Corsi?
I do, and what my approach has always been, Alex, when I'm reporting in WND and my books, I have another book out here soon that's going to be another big fight. I try to tell people, like with the Mexican trucks, I've been writing about this for years and saying both the Bush administration and the Obama administration, they're going to let Mexican trucks in, and people say, "Oh, no, the Teamsters Union and the owner-operator Independent Drivers Association, they all supported Obama. The union supported Obama. Obama would never do the Teamsters in by letting Mexican trucks in the United States." I said, "You don't understand. Obama doesn't care about the Teamsters. It's a globalist agenda." So now when the Mexican trucks do start rolling in the United States, I expect people to go back to the articles I wrote to see that this was what I was writing about, that I was predicting it and documenting it. Also, Alex, I'd like to think everything I write is well documented. I've got links in my articles. You can see the government websites. I'm interviewing the government authorities. I'm quoting them directly. Now, when you read one of my pieces, you yourself can go see the primary documents where the government indicates that, yes, the Mexican trucks are now going to come into the United States. Obama did do this. He's ignoring Congress. There's no congressional vote going to be held on this. Congress took away the money at the end of the Bush administration. Obama's not going to care. He's just going to say, we're going to do the Mexican trucks and let somebody stop us.
But Dr. Corsi, when you call this government, it's not even government now. They
don't care about the Constitution anymore, Alex.
It's not government. It's not even legitimate. I mean, take the case that came out 3 weeks ago that we've really dropped the ball on. We've covered it some. We have a new article by J.T. Coyote today on Infowars.com. BATFE, secret op creates terror in Mexican border towns. I knew this several years ago. 5 years ago, I had Celia Castillo, who was a former top DEA agent. They actually set him up over this and sent him to prison for coming on this show and others. And he said, government shipping arms into Mexico to destabilize it. Now you have top ATF agents coming out valiantly in CBS News and saying, yes, we're ordered to let fully, auto weapons, 50 cal Barretts, everything.
Ordered in quantity
to Mexico, because they know that over 90% of the weapons were being bought from the Germans and sold to the military. I know I'm interrupting. I just want to state it. Sold to the military. So the military's selling to the cartels. Hardly any of it's from America. So the ATF sets up dealers and conduits to sell guns so they can trace them back to then try to take our guns.
Take away the Second Amendment.
I mean, this is, Dr. Corsi, is this not a false flag that we've caught Obama?
Of course it is. This whole idea of the ATF allowing guns to be sold to Mexico and then putting out reports that the guns are being smuggled into Mexico so as to limit the Second Amendment, this is a total government operation to destroy the Second Amendment. It's a false flag. But look, my new book coming out there, Alex, is going to be, it was done by, this James.
It shows they're like childlike cults where they just sit around making fun of people.
The NPR admits they're not going to cover the birther story, even though NPR is sitting at that table saying, we know that there's validity here. We know Barack Obama cannot prove that he is a natural-born citizen of the United States. They know it. They just won't cover it.
And here they are, secretly taped, admitting it.
It's the same thing with the guns. And that's why I think my book is already going to be a bestseller from the pre-publication sales. Take a look at Amazon.com. Take a look on Barnes & Noble. We'll get it up on your site right away. I'll work with your producers.
Yeah, it needs to be up next week if it's already in pre-sale, because I want to get it out. But just in closing, Dr. Corsi, going back to this gun issue, shouldn't we start a movement to call for impeachment of Obama?
Absolutely. Because this is total disregard for the Constitution.
The government is selling the guns to the cartels to then blame it on America and the Second Amendment. That's staged terror.
And coming out with reports saying these guns are being smuggled into Mexico, therefore we need to have gun control in the United States.
It's terrorism.
All the while it's the government doing it.
I mean, how many times, Doctor, do we have to catch them creating the crisis to realize this is a group of ruthless crooks? And if they're going to commit 100 crimes, why not commit 10,000 or 10 million?
Well, let's go interview the Teamsters Union and see how they feel, having supported Barack Obama. Now Barack Obama is letting the Mexican trucks in the United States. Barack Obama does not care that, about 93% of all motor carriers in the United States have fewer than 20 trucks in their fleets. Wait till U.S. companies, big companies, start going down to Mexico and operating as Mexican trucking companies.
No, it's over. It's part of the race to the bottom, and it won't help Mexico either. Dr. Corsi, always great having you on. Let's have you on next week or 2 weeks from now. I mean, let's and I want to get that book and carry it. Where's the birth certificate? Thank you for coming on with us. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Alex. I look forward to it.
You bet. Take care, buddy. We'll be right back. More news straight ahead. Lindsay.